Ole! Salut, bună seara YouTube, Facebook. Am început așa cu un intro care, bineînțeles că trebuia să aibă un mic delay. Suntem în această seară cu aceste 3 sticle minunate de Jameson. Vom merge până în Irlanda, la domnul O'Sheen, o să ne spună el cum se pronunță cel mai bine numele. După o să intrăm în direct împreună și cu Silviu Popa și Luci Dobra și stăm să vorbim așa despre tot brandul ăsta minunat care este Jameson. Până una alta, haideți să punem un video de început, un video ce durează vreo un minut, pentru că Jameson au aceste videouri super faine, ce îmi plac mie super mult, de promoționale și sunt ca un fel de fairy tales. Așa că haideți să începem prima dată, să începem cu Jameson Scully was born. Haideți să vedem despre ce este vorba.
Poor Bill Scully. It was a terrible thing to have happened. Then again, everyone knows that Jameson is smoother because it's distilled 3 times. Everyone, it seems, except Bill Scully. 428 gallons gone. It says it right here. Scully was to blame. Well, now he knows we always distill 3 times. And he knows why. Jameson. Taste. That's why.
Cool. Hello, welcome to our show.
Hello from Dublin.
How are you doing? Hello, how is the Dublin? How is Dublin in these days?
This is like the Eurovision. Is this the Eurovision?
It's sort of a contest, yeah, Eurovision, Jameson Eurovision contest.
Very good. How are you, man?
Not too bad. I invite you tonight to talk about these beautiful 3 big boys: the Jameson, the Irish, the Caskmate, and the Black Barrel. And when I ask about who's gonna be the right person to talk about Jameson, everybody recommends you. And I saw even your videos when you've done it for marathon with the Romanian football kit, and I said, yeah, for sure, he is one of the best.
Thank you.
Well, tell us a few words about you. What's your job for Jameson? How come when everybody says Jameson says O'Sheen Davis?
So my company is called Great Irish Beverages. We look after marketing and publicity and education for Irish drinks brands. So my biggest and longest customer that I've had for 7 years now is Jameson. So I also work with Redbreast Irish Whiskey, Green Spot, Red Spot. Let's see, Middleton Very Rare. I've done a lot of work with them recently. Excellent whiskey. And I've done an awful lot with Method and Madness, the whiskey range, the gin range, and then I've done a lot with lots of independent Irish gins, independent Irish ciders, beers. So if it's an Irish drinks brand, then I can work with them. You know, that's the way I work. You know, but the one customer that I've done the most amount of work for has definitely been Jameson, and I've been very lucky. I've been working with the international team now for a long time, and I suppose I specialize in engaging and working with bartenders because I'm an ex bar owner and bartender and nightclub promoter. Prior to Great Irish Beverages, I worked as a bouncer, as a chef, a bartender, nightclub manager, promoter, you name it, you know, scrub toilets, whatever, man. I've done it all, you know. Makes me a very well-rounded consultant, you know. But these days, I'm doing more and more publicity, more and more stuff in the office, less stuff on the road, especially now that I'm not traveling at all, you know. So last year I was in so many countries, but this year, different story altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, everything changed, I reckon, at least this year. Tell us the story behind what's on your back, the bar.
Okay, so this is my office bar, and I used to have a bigger office, but because I needed a smaller office now, because you know, I just needed to have an office at my home, and then an office in the city. So I do most of my work at home now. So I had a much bigger office, but now I've got two offices. I got one in my home and then one in the city. Okay, so what I did was I had like an 8-foot bar, I guess like a 4-meter bar, 3 or 4 meter bar, and I cut it in half, right? So I got half in my house at the end of my garden, and then the other half here. So this is a Jameson barrel. This is the top of the barrel, okay? These are the hoops for a Jameson barrel, okay? And then the front of the bar,
yeah,
you see it, I'll try and show it to you. This is all Jameson staves. They're staves from the Jameson barrel. So they were all they were all given to me by my friend Jer Buckley. He's the master cooper. So if I ever need any barrels, he's the guy I talk to. I give him on the call, and so I've got a bar made out of Jameson barrels and Jameson wood. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. It looks nice, handcrafted and beautiful. And how long is having a history is make it even beautiful. What you can tell us about these 3 big boys over here? What's the difference between them? And actually, let's start for people who doesn't know.
Okay.
I'd like to see what's the difference between Irish whiskeys and the rest of whiskeys. What makes it an Irish whiskey?
Okay, so Jameson is a blended whiskey. Okay, so and it's triple distilled. Trying to make sure, yeah, triple distilled, and it's made with a blend of French grain, Irish malted barley, and unmalted barley. Okay, and it's a mixture of column distilled whiskey, so whiskey that's been put through a column. And it's the type which is actually that type of way of distilling was invented by an Irishman, perfected by an Irishman, as I like to say, not quite invented, but perfected by an Irishman, a guy called Aeneas Coffey. So it's a blend of column distilled grain whiskey, and then you've got malted and unmalted barley that comes from a pot still. So that makes it quite unusual already, But then you also have the fact that it's triple distilled, so that makes it very smooth. Third distillation just gives it a nice kind of smooth edge, not quite as harsh a burn as you might get with other whiskeys. And when you compare, say, the whiskeys of Scotland, say Jameson, I mean, a lot, not all, of course, but a lot of Scottish whiskeys might have a smoky character to them because they've been peated. Jameson is not peated at all. It doesn't spend all its time in charred casks like the way an awful lot of American whiskeys would be, so it isn't that sweet. And the pot still element in the whiskey gives it a great spice, quite a very distinctive spice, If you ever have it on me again to talk about single pot still whiskeys, which I can do, we'll do that again. But, single pot stills, for instance, like Green Spot, let's see. That's a pot still, Green Spot there. Pot still whiskeys are quite spicy, so it has all these different elements in it. It's got like grain, it's got malted barley. Unmalted barley is a great characteristic of Irish whiskey because what happened was there was a tax put onto the Irish and the Scottish for our beers and our whiskies hundreds of years ago when we were still being ruled by the British, and they put the tax on the malt, but they didn't put it on the unmalted barley. So we're like, okay, well then let's just make whiskey with unmalted barley and malted barley. So I have all these different characteristics that make Jameson quite unique in the sense that it's a really nice blend. It's, for me, I don't know of a whiskey that's more versatile. You know, you can use Jameson in any drink. You know, right now, anywhere in the world, you've got people drinking Jameson straight. You've got them pairing it with a beer. You'll have them having it with some hot water and a slice of lemon, a hot whiskey as we call it, especially if you've got a bit of a cold or a cough. You know, you have it, of course, in lots of different cocktails. Some of the oldest whiskey cocktails in the world were actually made with Jameson, and that's a fact. You know. And then, of course, we have it in one of the most popular cocktails in the world, which is the Irish coffee. You know, so you have all these different ways to enjoy Irish whiskey, especially Jameson, because it has such an interesting blend. It makes it so versatile. So, I mean, in a very quick kind of 2 or 3 minute synopsis, for me, they're the most important characteristics that I try and get across in relation to Jameson. You know, it's spirit base, it's the way it's distilled. And then the fact that it's so versatile, you can use it in so many ways, you know. So in the final product, when you pour some and you can get that nose, you know, you'll pick up lots of, you know, gorgeous, say spice to begin with, and then some sweetness then on the palate, but it's not overly sweet. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not too sweet. Okay. You don't get that smoky characteristic you get with all the whiskeys, which, by the way, I love. Don't get me wrong, I love smoky peated whiskeys, but you don't really get that. That's one of the key characteristics. And you know, it has a lovely nutty character as well, from a small bit of influence that it has spent in the sherry cask. It's mostly aged in American oak, okay, but there is a small element of the whiskey that is aged in sherry casks, Oloroso sherry. That kind of gives it a nice nuttiness. But then, you know, you get like, say, apricot. You get other kind of dried fruits like that, you know, which again make it really good fun to work with, especially with bartenders. You know, bartenders really fucking love Jameson because you can make it in so many different ways. But then what they did was they wanted to, you know, innovate, and they wanted to look at different ways to make you know, interesting, you know, varieties and interesting blends. And one of the most recent ones is the Jameson Caskmate. So this is the stout edition. There are lots of editions around, and essentially this is just like a normal Jameson. You know, when you smell it and when you taste it, I'm going to taste some right now. You know, what happens is that first nosing, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know that. That smells familiar. You know, that smells like Jameson. And then the second nosing, if you pick up something different, you're like, oh, that's got a bit of an extra kind of coffee character, maybe a little bit of chocolate, or maybe a bit of extra spice. And the reason why this is different from the standard Jameson is because this has been seasoned with casks that have been aged with stout beer. So what they did was, as an experiment years ago, the head scientist in the Jameson distillery, Dave Quinn, he was hanging out with a good friend of his who owns a brewery in Cork, and they were just, you know, shooting the breeze, having some beers, having some whiskey. In Ireland, it's extremely traditional to have a beer with your whiskey. Okay, so like the beer is like, you know, the foreplay, and then the whiskey is like the sex. You know, that's how I like to call it anyway. You know, you know, the beer is like a starter, and then the whiskey is like the main course. You know, if you're looking at it from a restaurant perspective. The reason why we like drinking beer with our whiskey so much is because, you know, for a long time we didn't have, you know, proper running water like you did in Romania. You know, in Romania you would have drank wine. You know, everybody would have drank wine the whole time just because there was no water. But in Ireland and in Germany, in you know, Scandinavia, they all would have drank beer, like beers and ciders. And they would have been quite weak. It was a great way to stay hydrated. But the problem was, you know, there was always a fight who got the best grain. You know, so you'd have like there was like a pyramid of who had the best grains back in the day. It was like you had the bakers, because you have to have bread, So the baker would always get the best bread, and then it'd be a fight between like the brewer and then the distiller, who gets the second best grain. So sometimes the beer wasn't that good, and then sometimes the whiskey wasn't that good. Whoever had the shittier grain, that's the person who had the shittier product, right? So sometimes you'd have a little bit of a beer, and you're like, whoa, it's a bit rough. I think I'll drink a bit of whiskey to help that along, and then vice versa. Okay, so we started this tradition hundreds of years ago, and we still carry on to this day. All the time when I go to the pub with my friends, we'll often have a couple of beers, and then we'll switch to a whiskey, and then go back to the beer, or maybe just stick to the whiskey. It's just the way we drink in Ireland. Okay, so the reason why whiskey and beer go so well together, though, is because effectively they're made with the same ingredients, made with with the same DNA. So you had this. They had this experiment then, when they took some Jameson casks that already have whiskey in them. All right, and as soon as they took the whiskey out, they filled the whiskey with loads of beer, with stout beer. Okay, so they left the beer in there for a few weeks, whatever it was, took it away, and then put the whiskey back in again. Came up with this experiment, and boom, it worked really, really well. And now there's lots of variants of it. There's local variants of it. There's versions of it in Australia. I've had it in Denmark, of America, England. And there's a new national version as well with an IPA. But essentially, then the beer has this beautiful taste and little smack or kiss of the whiskey has just little a kiss of beer. So it's like you can smell that little bit of chocolate, don't you? And you can taste it too. You can taste that extra element, the extra layer of chocolate and coffee, and that comes from the beer that has hit the cask, But with Black Barrel, it's a different story. What they did was they wanted to pay homage and pay some respect to the great coopers that operated, 2 or 3 kilometers from where I am right now, over in Smithfield here in Dublin, because the coopers, always have such great respect in Ireland. But even back then, they wore suits. Those guys used to wear ties and hats, and they were very, very well respected. So they wanted to pay a little respect to them. But also, they discovered that what they would do is, if they ran out of space in their cooperage, with all the different barrels they were using, quite often they would leave the barrels for a few months at a time outside, and then to bring the barrels back in and use them again, they would give them a quick torch, with some fire. Okay, give them a new lease of life, and then use them again. So they looked at that process, and they wanted to see how they might be able to reproduce that themselves. So basically, the most important factor you need to know about with Jameson Black Barrel is that it has spent some extra time in casks that have been charred. So that charring actually gives it an extra layer of sweetness, and almost gives it a stronger kind of bourbon-like quality, almost like an American whiskey, So it'll give it more of a vanillin taste, so that kind of vanilla spice, and a little bit more sweetness. But then, what's beautiful about Black Barrel is that it has a higher amount of pot still whiskey. So the regular Jameson, as I said, is a blend of pot still and grain whiskey, but the pot still levels in Black Barrel are actually higher. So that gives it an extra layer of spice and a bit more kind of character to it, but also has this lovely layer of sweetness that comes from the time spent in the charred cask. So that's the 3 main differences. They all taste fucking great, though.
But I reckon now I'm gonna play another video with another fairy tale from Dublin or from Ireland, and then we're gonna introduce 2 guys what you already know and you already met. I'm talking about Luci Dobra and Silviu Popa. And and then we can talk about the competition. Every year it's in Dublin. But just before, let's play the video.
When the Great Fire of 1789 reached his distillery, John Jameson devised a brilliant plan. But there was simply no time. So he devised another, less brilliant plan. In the end, the not-so-brilliant plan saved the whiskey. And all of Ireland agreed. Catastrophe averted.
Cool. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Everybody now.
Hi.
Actually, I want to say. Say it, and
Go ahead.
I wanted to say.
No,
about...
I just say I want. I want to say I finish and then we go first because it's a small delay between the sound. That's why what's happened. The thing is that I played this video because this is like a sort of pandemic situation in Ireland. Whenever all the city was getting burned, whatever. And let's see the Irish people. They've seen the bright side in the pandemic and they saved the whiskey. Possibly we're gonna save some things after this pandemic. And now, Luci, please.
Man, now it's the same. Jameson now saves us also from the pandemic. And what I wanted to say about these videos and the reason that we like it so much is because Jameson, it's a serious whiskey that doesn't take itself too serious. I have to say, because always have a very serious part, but a very nice touch and flavor of joking and having fun with people, and I think this is the best part of the brand. Of course, the product also, but
and the ambassadors.
The Dublin spirit.
The ambassadors, yes. Actually, I'm not a Jameson brand ambassador anymore officially, but I always be a Jameson brand ambassador unofficially all of my life.
Silvio,
how are you, man?
Hi, I'm great. I really enjoy being here. So I just wanna say something for the people that really know me. They know that my favorite highball is a very simple one, and I'm just gonna make right now. I have here a perfect portion of Jameson and Sprite. This is my favorite highball from you. I can drink it all day, all night. So, cheers to you.
How you call? Cheers, Spencer. How you call that in Dublin is like Jameson and white, no? Because it's white lemonade, no?
We call it just a Jameson highball. You could just say a highball with Sprite, you know.
Yeah, because from my experience in Northern Ireland and everything, everyone who was ordering a vodka or whatever spirit and Sprite, they all call it like the vodka and white.
Yeah, white.
Jameson and white, Bacardi and white. That's I remember that because in the beginning when I started bartending over there, I was like, what the fuck is this white, man? What are you talking about? And I tried to figure out on the bottles what is white, you know? I was like, okay, man. Then an old guy who was to be my mentor when I started and I didn't know anything. He was like, "Oh, Sebastian, this is lemonade." Yeah. Cool. Let's talk about, because I think all three of both of you, Silvio and Luci, you've been already to Jameson Distillery. You've been to Jameson bartenders gathering, and I think it's a really cool competitions. And I reckon the best ambassadors for this brand are the bartenders. Of course, there are another official ones, but the best bartenders always are the bartenders who sells a lot of Jameson all over the world. I don't know in how many countries we can meet Jameson. Have you got any idea?
170, I think. Yeah.
170.
Yeah.
This is quite almost all the planet, no?
Yeah, I mean anywhere that's got any country that's got a good enough credit.
Right. Before to talk about this competition, I'm gonna play a really cool video, and this video I love it, and for everyone who is a bartender and will watch this video wants to go there. At least this is my opinion. And next year, I'm taking considerations to participate to any type of competition for this.
Every year, 200 bartenders from around the world arrive in Dublin for the Jameson Bartenders Gathering.
So,
hold on. Some
I was just gonna go
small problem with the small problem connection, but we're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Because it's no
Have you
rush.
paid your
We're
internet
gonna do it
provider?
again. Well, I'm on my neighbor one, you know. Here we go.
Bartenders from around the world arrive in Dublin for the Jameson Bartenders Gathering.
Here we go. The history of Irish whiskey.
3 days and nights they'll never forget. But this year,
Alex,
only 197 went home. Why? Taste. That's why.
Cool. That's the Jameson Gathering. Well, how is the story? What's the story of this competition?
Well, I mean, what's really funny for me is I was running a nightclub when they did one of their first competitions years and years ago, way back when, and I entered the competition, didn't win it, but I went along to the party, and it was this epic like mini festival that went on for a couple of days, and I saw it at its earliest inception, but since then it's evolved an awful lot, and I've been working on it since 2013 actually, yeah. And the first couple of years, I'll be honest with you, like there wasn't really a great kind of overarching theme, it was just like a huge party. And then we got really into backs, like picklebacks. Yeah. So you'd have like the in America, picklebacks became huge. So then we decided, let's have a competition made with backs. So you'd have a shot of Jameson and then a shot of whatever you wanted. It could be like a mozzarella ball with a little bit of, basil wrapped around it and some vinegar, or it could be like a shot of some kind of weird kind of schnapps. We had like 30 or 40 bartenders from all around the world doing backs. That was the competition. And then it evolved then into something more sophisticated, where we said, okay, make it the theme was classic with a local twist. So, you could take a classic whiskey cocktail, any kind of classic you wanted to, and just give it some local flavor, whether it's a local product, could be a flower or a herb, a soft drink, a beer, a mixer, a wine, whatever, and bring some of that into your cocktail and then express it well. So that kind of evolved into a very specific kind of theme then, and that's what we kind of have for the last couple of years. And that was incredible. So I was very lucky in that I was able to go to great countries, including Romania, and taste all these great cocktails as a co-judge with some local judges, and then go back to Ireland and help judge the finals there, or do whatever else I was needed to do, And the idea was to show bartenders, again, like what I talked about earlier on, how versatile Jameson is. It can be used in any kind of way. You can use it with floral flavors, with herbal flavors, with sweet, with sour, with bitter, And we wanted to show bartenders that, in some of those earlier years, again, it was still kind of crazy. But then what we decided to do was, let's make the daytime. We had 2 or 3 days of like all these crazy bartenders and all their friends, and the even crazier ambassadors. Sometimes the ambassadors are even crazier than the bartenders, Lucci, and you know what I'm talking about. So what we decided to do was during the day, let's have no alcohol. let's he's back. Hey Silvio, yeah, no alcohol during the day. Educational. Let's bring in people who can inspire the bartenders, good bar owners from around the world. Maybe bring in people who can show them new skills, who can teach them things about their bars and things like that, And eventually became this. We kind of nailed it a few years ago. We said this is it. This is a good formula, Let's do education during the day and go fucking crazy at nighttime, and then finish it all off with a big competition at the very end. So in 2018 was the first year that we had different stages. So because we didn't want it just to be about the one cocktail, okay? We wanted the bartenders to have a more grounded and more rounded understanding of what they can do with Jameson. And then to understand the different variants, like the Castmates, the Black Barrel. We even have, a couple of different bitters that we've made. This is a bitters made with slowberry, for instance, So anyway, 2019 was the first year we didn't have just a competition for the cocktail. They had to do a speed round, and then they had to do a creativity round too, So Silvio did very well. Great fucking bartender and an amazing bar. I was very lucky to go to your bar in Cluj. It's an excellent place. Did you get that outdoor area sorted yet? Were you able to go outside, put in that garden?
Unfortunately not. We will talk about that other time.
Oh, we'll go over. I'll fucking kick some ass for you. I'll do my baseball bat. Tell the local authorities to need a bigger garden. Yeah. But so
we're gonna have some speakeasy style gardens from soon, just with password and secret gardens.
The primary theme the last couple of years, which has been classic with the local twist. Because what happened was, I think it was like 2015 or 2016, I can't remember. I went to Turkey with Jameson, and I love Turkish food. I've always been. I love to cook anyway, and I'm kind of obsessed with Turkish food. And I went to the market in Istanbul, the bazaar, and I told the team in Turkey that I wanted to go to the market the day before I was with the bartenders and make lots of cocktails with Turkish ingredients. As an Irishman, making ingredients with making cocktails with Turkish ingredients. So I spent the whole day in the bazaar, picked up all these different ingredients, and I was able to make these different drinks with the Turkish bartenders and Turkish ingredients. And that's what gave me the idea to kind of maybe see if we can do it in a larger capacity with the competition. And thankfully they agreed in the end. I spent a long time saying, let's make classical local twist. That's got to be the thing. It's got to be the thing. Eventually they gave in, and that's the whole purpose, is to show bartenders how versatile the whiskey is,
Yeah, Silvio, what was your drink? What get you through the final?
My drink was because the inspiration has to be national, some local product and things like that. I had one with Jameson with a pear syrup, and also sparkling water that I made it in the soda stream with aromas of pine that just remind you of forest, because here in Transylvania we have a lot of forest. It was incredible.
Nice.
It was an a pretty classic, simple highball. And this is what we do at our bar at Biswin. Very, very simple cocktails, but with an explosion of aromas in your mouth. So
It was a great fucking drink.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Silvio is good on drinks. I had in my life a few good drinks made by him. But hopefully we still have foresters, because I don't know, I haven't been out from the house for a while, and I, I don't know. I don't know what make me think that there are less forests in Transylvania. Good. Luci, did you go with with Silvio and encourage him? Because we have a video later on. We gotta put it, and I heard your voice. Come on, chill the glasses, and
Yes, of course. I was the coach, a very responsible coach. At some point, after that, I gave up. But it was a very interesting experience, and I loved the first challenge, the speed cocktail challenge, because it was very hard, because they had to do 10 cocktails in a very short time. I know 3 minutes, if 5 minutes or something like that, which is a lot. Imagine what time it takes you to do an Irish coffee, and after that do another 9 drinks. so so it was very hard for Silvio, but it was full of emotions. It was very, very nice. I always feel very good also when I go to Dublin, because I always think it's my second home. We have a lot of Romanian friends working around, you know, and Ocean is always take care about us. So it's like
I know them all, and so do you.
Romanians, they are like Jameson. They are all over the world. It's no place you
like
can.
Irish,
Yeah.
The
There's no
idea
place
is
where it's
that
Jameson to don't be a Romanian.
yeah, the idea is that we are going there for a competition, and we were pretty serious at the competition, but we had a lot of fun, and we just party pretty hard. And I think that this is the Jameson spirit and their motto, and you have to have fun at everything that you do in life. And the competition, it was really like this. In the daytime, we have a lot of competition and seminars and pretty interesting things. But when the sun goes down, we party a lot.
yes, in the end of the day, always is with fun. Always.
Yeah. I reckon, and I heard that Jameson, that they are having even a really great distillery, and everything was built in Ireland, because it's not only in Dublin or whatever, it's all over the island. It's just with a good story, you know.
We've had we have a special bartender academy that we've been doing for years. Obviously, it's not happening right now, you know. But we've had some great Romanian bartenders. Colleen is one of them, and he sent me a text. Hello, Colleen, Sloncha.
Yeah, he's online. Actually, he's watching us. He sent me the picture
everywhere.
with the video.
We've had bartenders from some of the best bars in the world do that course. You know, I've been working on it. Been very lucky. I've hosted them all. We've had bartenders from all around Asia, Australia, Europe. You know, some of the great bars of New York, London, the Nomad Hotel, Dead Rabbit. It's brilliant, you know, and you know, we are very serious during the day, and then we go crazy at night. You know,
like the vampires.
Look, let's see Silvio during his competition on the speed service. Hopefully, my neighbor is gonna allow me to use his internet properly. Oh, here we go, and we can.
Let's do this. We're gonna count them up from 10, folks. Are you ready? Yo! 3, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So basically, here is the speed round. The first challenge in this in last year competition at Jameson, and we had to make as many as 10 cocktails possible in 5 minutes. So I think that I did 9 cocktails. It was a challenge because back home I've trained in a kind of setup in which I prepare my bottles to be very, very handy and to make the cocktails as I want. And there, in I don't know, like 10 minutes before the competition, I just find out that we cannot arrange our bottles. So all the bartenders have to have the bottles in the same order. So I just have to rearrange everything in my head because it was crazy.
It was fucking
But
crazy.
I've did it.
Yeah, you had to be one more time bartender, you know.
Yeah, because
That's
we as bartenders, this is what we do. We just rearrange, readjust, and reorganize everything as we work, and it was a normal situation in a bar.
Yeah, like you're in
Then
the weed.
in the end, how many cocktails you had to finish? Like I reckon they
I
were five
think
minutes. No.
I think that I've managed to do like 9 cocktails. Yeah, 9 cocktails and a shot which I've drink with Duncan. We will see at the end of the video.
The best part is
It's
in the
cool
end.
atmosphere, no, over there.
Yeah, man. In the end, it was very nice because one of the judge asked Silvio, "Do you have a visit card?"
Yeah, it was crazy because I just had a lot of fun there, and I think that the judges just feel that, and it was nice. Overall, it was nice. You can hear on the background the cheers, and the people just go there to have fun, to party, and it was there was three incredible days there in Dublin.
Yeah, it looks like Dublin. It's a cool city as well for the nightlife.
Not right now.
In how many cocktail bars? In how many cocktail bars this competition was on?
For that competition, I think there was about 30 different countries representing. Yeah. After this round, we had
That
I
it's
think 12 left or 15. I can't remember. But the person doing all the screaming is me, and I had no voice the next day. Yeah, look at
Look, you
that.
got one more minute. One more minute. I heard Lucci saying, "You 1 more minute? Chill the glass. Come on."
Killing it.
Yeah,
Really fucking well.
maybe for people that are not related to bar, they don't understand this vibe and this I don't know, this hype. But for people that are in our industry, they know that 5 minutes are very, very intense, and it's nice. It's like a sport.
It is. It is. That's why you forget to chill the glasses. You see, like I heard the guy, yeah, chill the glasses. I think Lucci is expert in chilling glasses. I know, right? I think everything was doing home is chilling glasses.
Yeah,
If he start cooking, he's chilling glasses.
yeah, because even if it's a speed round where you have to do everything very, very fast, you have also to do everything very correct, and not skip steps in doing your cocktails. Also, I think that it's on the first and the only challenge in my life, a speed round, that I have to do a fucking Irish coffee in the speed round. It's crazy.
It's hard. You did really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were one of the best in that.
Cheers.
Look, like you can see, because I stop the video now, we can see because in the end you had a sip of Jameson after such a hard work.
Always.
Right? That's you deserve it. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, Silvio. You've done such a good work. Yeah,
Thank you.
indeed it's fucking hard to prepare lots of cocktails in 5 minutes or so. Sometimes even in these days, you go to a bar and you order a drink, and maybe 15 minutes later it's not coming, you know. But yeah, but this is the proper. Well, this is a proper bartender's life, you know. And that should be every day, you know, like, and busy pubs and busy bars, bartenders who work in those ones, they know already. Cool.
Bartenders know the classics.
Lucci.
The bartenders need to know the classics.
Lucci, what
You did.
yeah, of course. Everything starts with classics, and then we can go on twist. But Lucci, what was the best memory you had in the competition, apart of chilling glasses?
A part of chilling glasses. I don't know. I think networking, because I had the opportunity to meet like a very, very big variety of people from China, like from America, from Japan, from different country, Turkish. It's very interesting to see all the people together, and you know, all the guys have different ways to enjoy a whiskey and having fun, and it was like you always learning, you know. I think this is the best part in this job, is to connect with people, networking, and learn from, I don't know, everything and everyone. I think
And yeah, I think it's the internet. It's he didn't pay the internet. I think he should use the neighbor one as well, like me. But let's don't talk about the connection of internet, because this is the biggest problem in this show, because we are doing this show live. But this is the funny part of the show as well, because everything is live, and then we don't cut. We are just naturally. We are bartenders, and we should do live things, no register. Well, Lucci, tell us what happens with this competition for this year, or I don't know, next year, or how? What's the plan?
As you know, the stage for going to the global Jameson competition, like last year, was called Jameson Barrelman Homecoming. It was based on one stage on marathon on Jameson competition, and unfortunately this year I don't think we can do the marathon live. So I want to figure out a way to do some kind of competition online, but not like in the classic way. Just present me a recipe. I want to find out something catchy and challenge the bartenders to do something like they are doing every day, but they are not aware that they are doing this every day. So to be a little bit challenging, and yeah, I work on it. I don't know, because like in every company, you have to do a plan, to do the budget, to see if you have money, and after that to cut something. So we are working on it, because like this situation.
I reckon if we're gonna do it online with a live show, it's gonna be cheaper, because you don't have to hire lots of people and everything. It's just internet connection, a good internet connection, not like Silvius ones, right? And we're gonna go on. The show must go on. Why not?
Yeah, but in one way or another, we will do something to keep Jameson engaged with bartenders, because when Jameson disappear, bartenders get lost. So we want to have bartenders together, so we need Jameson.
Cool. But what happens with the winners of the competition? Because in the commercial, they said that free bartenders they stays in Dublin, no? And if we check, I already check. I really love the YouTube page of Jameson, and there you can find lots of videos, not only commercials, with bartenders, how they've done in the competitions, and even when Mr. Davis was showing the Dublin to one lady, I've seen a video as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this year's prize for the first place had a big, nice budget to do some local collaboration with Jameson. Actually, the winner was the girl from Norway, I think.
Yeah,
If I,
Anya.
yeah, and she did the very nice final and very, very, very nice and tasty drinks. So she this year she had to do a collaboration. I don't know, Ocean, what she did. Like, she finished her project.
No, I mean it's look, that's the problem with everything going on in COVID, you know. So
Oh,
it's
so it's work in progress.
she started it okay, you know, and she's been involved in the Jameson host program, so that's been cool too. And yeah, we've been sure we had another program that we had to put on hold as well. It's the grow your own cocktail program where we were showing bartenders how to grow ingredients in their own gardens and inside their own bars. Again, that's been put on hold, you know. But the Jameson House Instagram page is worth watching for bartenders because it's the only people that are involved in it are people within the trade. They're mostly bartenders, and they're just sharing advice, sharing stories, and sharing kind of their own kind of perspective of what's going on during the COVID-19 outbreak. You know, so during Corona, you know, so yeah, it's crazy times.
Yeah, it's crazy time. Anyway, when you gonna open the bars in Ireland? Have you got any news?
Not till the 10th of August.
Really?
Oh.
But that's okay because my birthday
You
is
see,
August.
Silvio. They do it all for yourself anyway. I think they heard that it's your birthday and I was like, okay, we're gonna open the bars.
Yeah, not till 10th of August, and we don't even know. Maybe even later. We don't know yet. We don't know. It's crazy.
But you will still running the Virgin Mary bar, no?
Well, yeah, Virgin Mary's still going. We're selling stuff online. Yeah, we still have that going. Yeah, and the bar around the corner from us, 1661, they started selling cocktails in bottles. The Blind Pig, we were there once. Remember we went.
Yeah.
They're selling bottled cocktails. Silvio, are you selling bottled cocktails?
No, because we just take a break on this period and just working on the new menu and the new strategy, and we just hope that we can open our terrace in front of our bar on 1st of June.
Oh,
so it's okay. If I had to open my own bar in August, of course that I start thinking some strategy to deliver drinks.
Yeah.
That's
in Ireland. They're trying to get. They're trying to see if we can have more space outside because it's safer. You know, so hopefully it'll be the same for you then.
Yeah.
And hopefully the weather is gonna help as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is Ireland.
But
how is the weather these days? It's a sunny period, or it's bad weather?
Well, on Saturday it was like 19 degrees, and then on Sunday it was 7 degrees. It's Ireland.
For my own experience with Ireland, when it's a bad spring and beginning of summer, that means it's gonna be a good summer. When it's the reverse, it's gonna be a shitty summer then with the weather. Well, right, guys, I'm gonna have some questions for you, and we're gonna start with Mr. Davis, and then the next whose answer is gonna be Luci, and then Silvio. But yeah, first question is tea or coffee in the morning?
Coffee. 2 double espressos.
At least.
Luci.
For me, always coffee, but I don't know, half a liter of espressos, and after that we start talking.
Silvio.
Honestly, for me, is water. I don't drink coffee, tea, only on the winter. So it's water. The answer for me is water.
Well, cool. Next question sounds like this: Irish coffee in the morning, Irish coffee in the evening, or in the afternoon?
Oh, for me, it's an evening.
It's a tricky one.
Digestif, you know.
For me, depends. If it's weekend, we don't have a schedule. If it's in the middle of the week, yeah, maybe in the evening. But if I am after a festival or during a festival, an Irish coffee in the morning is like put you on track.
Boom.
For me, it's all day long because
Water.
in my opinion, Irish coffee is one of the cocktails that, I don't know, in the morning it gives you energy to keep going on the day, and in every moment of the day has something different to offer you. So it's an incredible cocktail, yeah. So all day long.
Look, the third question: how many countries have you been to?
I have no idea. I'm sorry. I'd have to. I have no idea. I'd have to prepare that. But you only said it to me there. Like I'd have to. I'll tell you tomorrow.
Okay, I can't wait for you. Okay? But I reckon you've been in plenty of countries because with the job, at least.
I've been very, very lucky. I've been very lucky, but you know, so but I can tell you, I haven't been to many countries this year.
Luci.
I don't know. I think 10 or 12 countries, and I have some bucket list for the after COVID.
I think that over 20, but I think that over 20, but I've never put it there to make a list of them.
Cool. The next one, because it's related to the other one. What's the most exotic country have you been to?
I mean, exotic is a kind of a funny term, but I mean, I think
Romania.
I wouldn't say Romania. Because Luci will tell you this. Luci drove me all around Transylvania, and we were in one part of Transylvania that felt like I was in Germany. You know, it was so funny. But I mean, I think the country that fascinated me the most was going to Istanbul. But I've never been to any other part of Turkey. I've only been to Istanbul. Istanbul was probably my favorite city. You know, it's insane. So much history, so much culture. So many different types of races that have been there, you know. Amazing.
Yeah. Luci.
For me, Sicily, because there I have also relatives, and I go like once or twice in a year, and I had the opportunity to discover Sicily like behind the enemy lines. So it's very exotic in many ways. Sicily.
I think that for me the most exotic one is Cuba, and I've also visiting Cuba with Havana Club in a project that they bring bartenders there to visit the country and also the Havana Club distillery, and it was fucking amazing. We party very hard in Havana and in Cuba, and we didn't expect it that we can party so hard and so nice there. But yes, it's Cuba for me.
Cool. The next question is pick one. The glass is half full or half empty?
Always half full, yeah.
For me, the same. Always half full.
Yeah, half full.
Always optimistic. Then pick one. Batman or Superman, and why?
Ooh, wow. Yeah, okay. I mean, I can talk about this for a long time, but it's got to be Superman, but Superman from the 70s. Otherwise, Christian Bale as Batman.
I prefer Batman because I wear the pants on my head rather than I wear the underwear over the pants.
Silvio.
You're fucked, dude.
Unfortunately, for this question, I don't have an answer because I'm not this kind of guy, Marvel, DC, and this kind of stuff, and I don't know them. So my answer is not Batman, not I don't know. It's Barman.
Hey!
Oh,
Good answer.
cool answer. Yeah. The next question is: what's the best bar in the world and why?
Oh, Max Sorley's in New York. They only serve 2 drinks: the pale ale and the brown ale, and they brew it themselves. And it's the oldest Irish bar in New York.
Cool.
I don't know. For me, I have, in my opinion, some of the, I don't know, most of my best bars they are the place where I don't know. I feel like home. One is Visuin, Buha, Oficiunu. I cannot say, but not
Cool.
outside of the country. In Romania, I think for me.
No, any outside of the country.
No, because in
Any from Dublin. Each one. What bars? What bar did you like in Dublin?
actually I don't remember because we always started where Tavi works. I always forget the name. You see.
You always started with Irish coffee in the morning, and that's it.
Yeah, because they don't serve other coffee, in Ireland. They only have a pint of Guinness or Irish coffee, so you have to choose.
Silvio.
Yeah, I think that this is a very hard question because the bars are always changing and evolving. And I can say what was my best experience in a bar from all time. And I think that it was in Artesian, like in 2016, when I was being there with a friend of mine, Sergiu Biriș, and Alex Ratena and Simone Caporale served us.
Right.
And they made us feel like we were the most important, famous, and rich person in this planet, and we were just 2 guys from Romania
Without money.
Yeah, and the atmosphere and the vibe was fucking incredible. So for me, it's Artesian in 2016. Yeah, it was incredible.
Cool. The next question is: can you touch your nose with your tongue?
No.
No way.
No, even if I
No
have
way, no? Anyhow.
even if I had a big nose, no.
I've got a
If I could, I was rich, man. Man.
Cool. Pick. This one is really complicated. Pick small boobs or big boobs.
I don't, I get turned on by the brain.
I don't know. Depends. Depends, like any drink or cocktail or any choose in every meal or something. I think it depends.
Yeah, I'm married, so let's skip this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. This one it's more like for Miss Davis. Gaelic football or soccer?
Oh, Gaelic football, all the way. Yeah. Gaelic football is amazing.
Gaelic football?
Yeah, it's like a mixture between soccer
Do you
and
guys? Do you know, guys, the Gaelic football? Did you see it?
We don't have any idea of what you are talking.
yeah.
I don't like any sports.
Gaelic football is like Oisin said, is like a mix of football and rugby, and it's quite cool. Cool. Now you gotta. Do you support any football team?
No, I hate soccer. I only liked it when we beat Romania in the 90s. We got through to the quarterfinals. And when we beat England.
Was I? There was Irish luck in that game on penalties, but anyway. Right now, what's the best live concert have you been to?
Oh wow! Okay, so I used to work in music, and I've been to loads of concerts. But when I lived in San Francisco for a couple of years in the 90s, and when I came home to Ireland, I had no money. I was broke. And I was sitting in a pub having a pint of Guinness, and the bartender said, "Do you want to enter a competition to go to a concert?" I said, "Yeah, okay." And I just filled out my name and put it on the beer mat. And then a week later, they said, "You're going to go to see Nick Cave in the Guinness Brewery." I went, "Wow!" So myself and my fiance, who's now my wife, we went to see Nick Cave in the Guinness Brewery where he was playing on a piano with 50 people. That was it. It was amazing. Best gig I've ever been to in the Guinness Brewery.
Nice.
For me, it's Cypress Hill in Strasbourg, like 4 or 5 years ago. It was like the biggest indoor live concert where all the people were smoking in France, if you can imagine.
Like an Amsterdam cafe.
It was like crazy. That was the best. Cypress Hill.
For me, I think that it was the Killers in Berlin. Yeah, it was nice.
Very bad.
Cool, guys. I think we already done 1 hour and 10 minutes. Was a really quick chat. I want to thank you very much because you took a break from your busy days, pandemic days, and you stay with me and chat about Jameson and about concerts and whatever was it. Hopefully, we're gonna see each other somewhere in Dublin with a pint of Guinness and a shot of Jameson. That will be better situation. Well, we start with one and we'll see. Maybe Irish coffee in the morning.
Pinky swear, yeah.
Pinky promise.
Pinky promise.
Pinky promise. Yeah. Hopefully. This is our second episode with Irish whiskey. We had around 1 week and a half ago Silky as well, and we spoke with Mr. Doherty from the distillery, Donegal Distillery, and that was really cool chat as well. But Mr. Oisin, if I said in a good way, Oisin. all the sheen. Thank you very much. I appreciate your bar from the back. It looks really cool, and hopefully we're gonna see you soon in Romania to judge again the competition, the marathon, and then another lucky person who's gonna win that is gonna go to Dublin. And that's been bartenders. They still got a future, and it's still time to think to big things. And why not bartenders? They can prepare from now recipes and for this competition. What is really cool, like you can see it. Thank you very much.
Here's to all the Romanian
All the
bartenders.
best.
Slanja.
Cheers. Slanja.